Starting off this morning, found a really great piece here in Real Clear Defense. Yes, the president can deploy troops to enforce immigration law. It goes through the Posse Comitatus Act, the Insurrection Act, and a couple other laws that specifically point to the fact that the president will be able to use the military and in assistance with the border, not just immigration services. Let's bring this up. Yes, the president can deploy troops to enforce immigration law. President-elect Trump's confirmation last month of his plan to deploy military assets for immigration enforcement sparked a constitutional debate. Legal scholars and commentators quickly declared such action forbidden by long-standing prohibitions on military involvement in domestic law enforcement. But this controversial wisdom misreads both the letter and spirit of American law. A careful examination of a pair of long-standing statutes reveals military support for immigration enforcement is permissible. And as you go through the article, the authors, they cite precedent, the Constitution, and current activities, actually. One of the things they cite here is the military currently provides support for immigration enforcement. Today, roughly 4,000 service members assist Customs and Border Protection along the southwest border. And that they operate surveillance aircraft, transport Border Patrol personnel, and maintain vehicles. These activities fall within the established legal framework for military support of immigration operations. Well, that can certainly be expanded. The incoming administration has the potential to significantly expand this support role. Military aircraft could transport detainees, military installations could provide temporary housing facilities, and military personnel could assist with administrative and logistical tasks. None of these activities would violate Posse Comitatus because they do not involve direct law enforcement activities. One of the things that goes on in this article, and of course I will link the article in the description, that I found interesting, and I'm going to bring this up, is a couple of lines right here, being the first one. In cases related to immigration enforcement, courts have ruled that Posse Comitatus Act only prohibits direct military involvement in law enforcement activities such as detaining citizens. They're not detaining citizens. They're detaining illegals. They're detaining, by presidential decree, invaders, which would, in my non-legal opinion, make it perfectly permissible for U.S. military to operate and detain people crossing the border. Again, how that's worded is very specific. In cases related to immigration enforcement, courts have ruled the Posse Comitatus Act only prohibits direct military involvement in law enforcement actions against detaining citizens. Citizens. This is a distinction the left is unwilling to make. That citizenship does indeed have its advantages, such as not being detained by law enforcement for simply being here, which should happen. There's other precedents, in this story that they go through, and I think the biggest one is right here because it's been done before. And irony can be pretty ironic sometimes. Once again, the left will be on the wrong side of history, as they were with this example right here. The deployment of military forces by president inside the United States to enforce the law when government officials refuse to do so is not unprecedented. This happened several times during the Civil Rights era, most famously when President Eisenhower invoked the Insurrection Act to send the 101st Airborne to Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957 when state officials obstructed federal desegregation orders. And I wonder what party that was. We all know who Ike what party he was with. Once again, the left is on the wrong side of history. Once again, the left is choosing... Once again, the left is choosing the wrong side of history. They think they're merciful, telling these people to come thousands of miles, to come here to be used as political pawns, given benefits that we can't afford. And they're told that they can stay here. It's my hope that the president and his Attorney General-elect Pam Bondi, that they, Attorney General nominee, President-elect, Attorney General nominee, are steadfast, that they do indeed use the military where necessary to detain non-citizens, to assist the immigration services and protect our border and finish the wall. And that Attorney General Bondi is willing to defend those people who do this, because this will end up in court. You know it will. You know there's left-wing liberal lawyers right now who are just lining up right now. They might even have tents sitting out in front of courthouses waiting right now to file these briefs the moment something happens. It's my hope that the Attorney General is strong and willing to defend and perhaps investigate where necessary. That's where FBI nominee Cash comes into play. Perhaps some of these non-governmental organizations, these NGOs, need to have a little bit of a look into them too. They spent years looking into us, the people on the right side who want to just save the Constitution and America and just want to live our lives. They've spent no time going after the people who want to destroy this nation. They've spent no time. They've assisted. These institutions of power have assisted. If we can turn these institutions' powers loose for liberty and freedom, non-discrimination, and cut their power, cut their reach, give the power back to the people, the individual, this would be a beautiful thing. And immigration is a good first step into that, because we have to have so much law enforcement, have to have so much intensity on this subject nationwide. Cities like Denver, they need to know that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is coming. They need to know that. On the border, bring our troops home. If they're going to be guarding something, let it be our southern border. Let it be our southern border, where they belong, in the United States. Let's send the message to the rest of the world that our border is closed to illegals. But we're open to legals. If you want to come here, we need you. Do it the right way. If you don't, in my opinion, you should expect the U.S. military when you get to that border. Thank you.